Welcome back to News Sources. Now, former TNA Secretary General Onyango Oloo's defection from Jubilee Coalition continues to rub the ruling coalition the wrong way. Devolution CS Mwangi Kiunjuri today claimed that the former Jubilee stalwart is being investigated for some apparent misconduct by the party, an outcome he claimed could lead to Onyango Oloo's detention. Jubilee MPs meanwhile remain unimpressed by Oloo's move, terming it inconsequential. Have a listen. Smart, from where I see it, Onyango Oloo, political deadweight. Well, let's listen into him first. I'm told let's go.
Secretary General wa TNA Oloo amehama, amerudi pahali alikuwa. Huyo imeonekana yeye alikuwa msaliti. Yeye alikuwa anaangalia vile tunaendelea, usiku anapeana maneno pande hiyo. Kwa hivyo sisi tumefurahi vile amerudi huko.
I want to remind Kenyans that in most cases when politicians and other senior Kenyans are on siege, they tend to run away. And they always tend to run back home to the villages for community protection. I want to remind Oloo that he has forgotten one file, a secret file that I hold for him, and the reason why he's running away. And he can run, but he's not going to hide.
Smart. First things first, pure nonsense from Mwangi Kiunjuri. I mean, again, I blame the Kenyan media. They should have asked which file he's holding on Onyango Oloo. And again, pure rubbish from Onyango Oloo trying to tell us that he has some secret file on Jubilee. He should have done it 4 years ago. Your take?
This matter for me is very simple. Jubilee poached, ODM SG, Babuna Mwamba, who's on their side, and opposition has poached the SG. So it's all balanced it out. I don't think there's a question here. There's no problem. They all have each other's SG, and let's move on and forget this.
Just like you had said that the media should have asked Mwangi Kiunjuri which file is this, because if I remember, if my memory serves me right, less than 1 year ago, he was the member of GNU. So when did he come to TNA and start having files that belong to TNA? Let's start from there. And then second, when you hear the Jubilee members, everybody picking on Onyango Oloo, it must be a very big loss, because if he was that person who they could get rid of, then I think it will just be like taking a cup of tea and forgetting about it.
What is Onyango Oloo bringing on board for CORD and NASA, as it were?
But just call it rubbish. Yes, he's bringing rubbish.
Yes.
What you say?
That's what I say, yes.
Yeah. Truly speaking, I don't think that Onyango Oloo has anything. He has nothing actually, except maybe rubbish. But to understand him better, you need to see how he is, his progression. I am sure he's not very happy that Tuju came over and kicked him out of the house. These are sort of the case of the chemo and the tent and the owner, But these things that Oloo is saying, for me, is not, the audience is not TNA. The audience is back in Kisumu Central, where he wants to contest. So he must show them that I'm coming with something to help Mzewi, your own son, get elected as the president. So to me, that is it's the usual politics, which you call rubbish, right? So
Billy, Onyango Oloo is on record as having said that how you will treat me, how you treat my defection to NASA or CORD or ODM will determine many other defections coming. I mean, this is political deadweight. This man has nothing.
I don't think Onyango Oloo is political deadweight. I think if there is any man who has been robbed by Jubilee, it's Onyango Oloo. Because I have never seen a dedicated Secretary General, party official, who more than Oloo. I think what Oloo did might be more than meets the eye, but let's also agree there are no files, because I don't understand which files that Onyango Oloo will bring that will shake the political field. But I think it is wrong for Onyango Oloo to be treated the way he did. And
it's politics. There's no morality in this.
And also we also say that politics is also about interest. If Onyango found that his interests are not well catered in the new formed Jubilee, let him go and try elective politics.
Let's stay with that. And Onyango Oloo maintains he has dossier that he will be presenting soon on how 2013 election result was massaged. The man at the engine and the center of things made these sensational claims when defecting from the party. And in a local TV interview yesterday night, the 2013 elections continue to be a soft underbelly for the Jubilee administration. Take a listen.
Let it be known that I had gone to the National Alliance with the best of intentions, that I had intended to be in Jubilee with the best of intentions, but that along the way they diverted from our course that was agreed upon, and that now it champions naked tribalism, it champions outright corruption, and it seeks to destroy the very fabric that builds this nation.
The man is very well spoken, very fabric that built this nation. We interviewed him on this program, and he's a man who defends a cause to the last cause. That is, to the last. But he's a man who is, he's what is, the salt, the ground that he stands on.
Onyango Oloo is a waste of time, smart, and I can authoritatively tell you that Onyango Oloo was meant to be the face of this national outlook. That TNA is a national party with all tribes on board. That is the role Onyango Oloo
But he stood for something, didn't he? He stood for something.
I don't know what he stood for.
He stood for that
Unless
cause.
for Secretary General. I mean, there's nothing else he stood for.
Didn't he?
I think let us accepting that the guy is bright and he knows what he does and he stands for it. And we can see the way he stood against all odds to defend TNA. And again, he has said that from the beginning, they had a course that along the way was not followed. So this is a guy who is standing for his ideologies. If he noticed that they were not being served, then he decided to seek it somewhere else. But again, politics is local.
Rosalie,
and he has said that is exactly what he's getting in TNA.
If TNA was TNA, URP was URP, will Onyango Oloo be saying what he's saying now?
That is why I'm saying he said the cause, what they started at the beginning.
What did TNA stand for?
I'm not a TMN member, so I can't know what.
That question asking is very important. By the way, let's also not just assume that he's a bright. Yeah, even I'm bright, even me. So don't drag. We're asking a question. What does this man stand for?
Exactly.
I've accepted.
Yes.
I've accepted.
Yes.
Even Dennis is a very bright guy.
Yes.
But I'm asking, what does he stand for? Ideologically, where do you place him?
On the opposite scale, where you place ODM.
Let me say this.
He stands for something.
Just maybe, he just got by performing a TNA and he joined in. Conveniently for selfish interests. Now you guys are now putting that as an ideological.
He has said
the selfish interest that he stands for, and he makes no mistakes. No apologies for standing for it. That's the point, and that's what I said.
Kenyan politics has nothing like you stand for what, because it's all about interest. What Onyango Oloo brings to ODM or to NASA is this feeling that we now have a man who has the trick to win the presidential election.
Say this, not what he brings, what he takes to ODM, what he has left there. Let's see. What are they missing? Let's take the other side. What are they missing? Zero.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no further coming from Onyango Oloo. Just wasting time, I think. But it's a news cycle that will come to an end in the next few days. But let's move on. The oldest party in Kenya today held its National Executive Council meeting at KANU headquarters here in Nairobi. KANU, led by Senator Gideon Moi, is in some kind of catch-22 situation in this election. The party, though solidly supporting Uhuru Kenyatta's difficulties and irreconcilable differences with Deputy President William Ruto, the party will most certainly field candidates in all elective seats except the presidency, and will mostly certainly be benefiting from the expected fallout if Jubilee contest in Jubilee's contestation in Rift Valley. Let's have a listen in.
All options are open on the table for KANU right now. We've got where we've got the NASA, of course, we've got Jubilee there, and we've got KANU to go it alone. So as of now, all options are on the table. But what is concrete is that we're not dissolving and we are standing as KANU.
That KANU has not deviated from its initial position that it will not dissolve as a party. 2, that KANU will field candidates for all elective positions countrywide, from MCAs, MPs, women representatives, senators, and governors.
Smart, KANU will not just go away.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We're just speaking about ideology in the last second. This is some, people who are trying to stay on something.
Yeah.
They're on record and they're trying to rebuild and revive what was, the grand old party, the Kenyan style. And like you said, I think it's, in this election, I think this is the best election that KANU will have in a very long time, in my view. That they would actually scoop a lot in parts of Rift Valley, possibly Western,
Billy, I mean, Gideon Moi is a man who feels if Uhuru Kenyatta wants votes from Rift Valley, then he has to deal with him. He doesn't have to deal with the deputy president.
I think KANU as a party, if numbers are anything to go by, then I think KANU is overrated in the Rift Valley. The best KANU can do is to checkmate Jubilee, and actually President Uhuru and Ruto should be happy that KANU is there, because I normally say the parties, the alternative parties in Jubilee backyard are actually going to show up the voter turnout. It is good for President Kenyatta, because when the contest is intense at the lower levels, it means the turnout for the presidential KANU is not going to NASA. They even behaved like that last time, only for them to go back to Jubilee. I think the best thing KANU can do is to be an alternative to those who will be disgruntled by Jubilee, and pray. Uhuru and Ruto should pray that KANU is strong on the grassroots, provided they don't maybe support whoever. If they decide to stay away from the presidential race, it will be better for Jubilee.
Ibrahim, will KANU be an issue for William Ruto in Rift Valley?
Yes and no. Yes, if they just made up their minds. Just make up your mind what you want to do. Listening to him saying, we are just waiting for some trouble, I mean, that's not a strategy. It's a disaster. They must make a decision what they want, go for whatever they want to go. Not waiting for any misfortunes elsewhere. Let them go, which they are not doing. So KANU must shape up and say, we are going for everything.
Rosalind, KANU must shape up or shape out?
I agree with Oruko. They have to make up their mind, because, again, for them to get the number that they're seeking to get in the other elective positions, we might see them have a direction. Either they are supporting the opposition or they are supporting the government, because, again, that one will give them an upper hand. If it is in Rift Valley that they've always said that the president should approach them directly and not through the DP, this is their time to win those numbers by saying we are fully behind Jubilee, only that we will not dissolve. Or we are fully behind NASA, and now, because of this, we are working hand in hand with NASA, but not fully in NASA.
KANU has this sense of self-importance in the Rift Valley. They want to be wood. It's like a girl saying, I have two men. So at the end of the day, that girl ends up having nobody. So what KANU will do, as they did in 2013, they will stay like that. They will not go to water. But even last time, they supported Musalia Mudavadi, if you can remember. But how many votes did Musalia Mudavadi get?
That was the last election.
KANU has all the time. What we don't have is the time. The ball is fumbling in your court.
I agree, that was the last election. I did the thing. KANU does not have to do any such thing. Just have to be KANU. Well, we can need sources. On that note, yes, we asked you on Twitter if you think Jubilee has sort of any secret files on Onyango Oloo. And yes, this is how you polled. I think there's quite a bit of you who say you don't care. Yeah, we also don't care. That's how we end these sources. Good evening.